When I shared my story of how I was trafficked the first time in public, I had an influx of people come up to me and ask me, "How did you get rescued?" And the question really jarred me because I never really thought of it before. And the first woman to ask me that, I looked at her and I said, "No one rescued me. No, this is the Hollywood version that you're talking of. This is the Sounds of Freedom, the Hollywood version of trafficking. In real life trafficking, nobody is rescuing anybody because the woman doesn't see herself as being trafficked, as being a victim, because she was coerced, she was groomed, coerced, and manipulated to believe that she was a willing participant. This is what we're talking about today. Welcome to Worthy Woman Healing. I am Lisa Czak, your host. And on today's episode, we are talking about the myth of rescuing sex trafficking victims. Stay tuned. This is something that is like nails on a chalkboard to me when I hear. I hear it all the time. You see it everywhere, right? You see these nonprofits or these people who are like, "Yeah, I want to build a safe house and I'm going to rescue people." There's an organization here in Nashville, I forget the name of it now. And I don't want to call them out as being bad because they're not. They don't know any better. But part of their mission, they say, is to rescue sex trafficking victims. And this is the biggest myth out there that people don't understand. That when you are being sexually exploited, when you are being sex trafficked, you don't see yourself as that. It's no different than in domestic violence situations where abuse is taking place. Women who are in abusive marriages, relationships, they don't see it as abuse. They don't see it for what's really happening. They tend to blame themselves. And sex traffickers, sexual predators, abusers, which are all narcissists too, by the way, are experts. They are master manipulators, getting women to believe that whatever they're doing, they actually want to do, that they are willing participants in this that they're doing. So you hear a lot, I talk to a lot of task force people who actually do go in and attempt to rescue women, right? It usually has to do with prostitution rings. And the women, they'll say to the women, "Do you want to come with me? Are you safe? Do you know, are you okay?" And the women have been conditioned also to believe that they are at fault, that they're going to be jailed, which a lot of times they are, but luckily laws are changing on that. And they won't even go with them. It's so frustrating. And I hear this a lot. I see a lot of cowboys out there, what I like to call cowboys, or a lot of men who want to be the knight in shining armor, right? Like my daughter has a friend who has a husband that's in the military, and his military stint is going to be up soon. And I asked him what he was going to do after. And he said, which was nails on the chalkboard for me, "I'm going to go in and rescue sex trafficking victims." And I was just like, okay, my head is about to blow up right now, cowboy. Okay, because that's not happening. That is not the way it happens. What happens is the woman finally, something clicks. Something somehow clicks. Usually, maybe they see a video like what I'm doing right now, right? And they say it to someone what they're going through or what they're doing. They finally get up the courage to use their voice and share what's going on in their life. And then the person that's on the receiving end of that says, "Did you hear what you just said? Did you hear what you just said to me?" And then you realize, oh, a light bulb goes off. this is not okay. What I'm doing, I don't want to be doing this. This isn't my fault. I didn't choose this because you were groomed, right? It's not like we did an episode on the internet is the new white van because it's not like people think it is, right? Hollywood version is that you get pulled into a white van, you get hauled away, sent to some foreign country, or it happens in a foreign country like the Sounds of Freedom movie, which I'm very happy to see that that came out and that there was a lot of interest in the topic. However, it did a disservice because women who are actually being exploited here in the United States and being trafficked are going to see that movie and say, well, that's not me, right? Nobody kidnapped me. I'm not living in some third world country. And so they get confused. There's a cognitive dissonance that happens, right? I don't know what I'm in. I don't know what's happening. I just know it's not what I just saw in the movie. And so we need to eliminate, I can't stress this enough. For all of you nonprofits out there and all of you people like who your heart's in the right place and you want to start a foundation for victims of sex trafficking. You want to, do a safe house. That's another word that you hear a lot, right? I want to do a safe house. I want to rescue women from sex trafficking and put them in the safe house. And for all of you that do that, eliminate that word rescue also. Not only because no one's getting rescued, women are being aware. Women are opening their eyes to what's actually happening. They have a safe place to actually share what's happening, and they're being told, it's not your fault. I believe you. That's how you can rescue a woman, right? And being aware, knowing the warning signs of someone who is being trafficked. However, even those are hard to pick up, right? So that word rescue, let's eliminate it from our vocabulary because it also makes it seem like the woman needs rescuing, right? That something's wrong with her, that you're like her savior. You're her knight in shining armor. This organization is going to come in and they're going to save the day. That kid that I told you about that is wants to get out of the military and rescue sex trafficking. He's got that savior complex, right? Like I want to go in, I want to save these women. Well, only God and God alone is going to save, right? Jesus came to save us. All of us, whether you're a sex trafficking victim or not, only Jesus is our savior. So we need to take that word rescue out of the verbiage when it comes to marketing for your nonprofit. I actually feel like going and helping. Like I said, there's a new nonprofit here in Nashville. I'm totally blanking their name. And I actually want to contact the owner because it's a friend of mine. She knows him. He's a songwriter and now he does this for a living. He wants to rescue. And that's like in their tagline, right? We rescue, and I think it was restore. I forget the other word that they used. It was 3 R's, but there was the rescue that like really stood out to me. And also, if you are going to do a safe house, model it after Thistle Farms. I volunteer at Thistle Farms, and Thistle Farms, Becca Stevens has it. She knows what she's doing over there because she realized you can't just rescue a sex trafficking victim, put them in a safe house, and expect miracles to happen, right? You have to heal. Their tagline is heal, employ, and house, right? So you heal them from what's going on. So you have to offer a wide variety of therapeutic services, healing services, and you need a safe place for them to live. The key, though, is employment. If you don't help them get employment where they can live off of, right? Give them skills to work with, give them a job to go into, then it's all going to crumble and they're going to end up back where they were before. Do you want to end anxiety now? Are you feeling anxious when you wake up in the morning with that heart racing, that overwhelmed feeling in your brain of everything you have to do for that day, feeling stressed out before your feet even hit the floor, I have got the solution for you. My free morning meditation will get you started every morning, remembering that you and only you are in control of your feelings. So no matter what your circumstance, situation, or person in your life is trying to drag you down, you get to decide how you want to feel each and every day. End anxiety, overwhelm, stress now. Click the link below. You are worth it. So that's really important. Eliminate rescue. Instead, work on healing, awareness, right? Help women understand what they might be going through. Like I said, maybe you're listening to this podcast right now and you're saying, whoa, I don't know, because this guy was my boyfriend. This happens a lot, right? This is the Romeo style trafficking. And this is where the guy comes in and he's the knight in shining armor. And he seems too good to be true, because he is. And he treats the woman amazing, right? He moves very quickly though. And then he does a lot of favors for her. And then suddenly she owes him favors back. So it might be, you need to do these videos for me. Next thing you know, she's in porn videos, which is part of trafficking. That's a whole nother thing I can get off on. Or it's, you need to go have sex with this guy, because I've given you so much money and I've done all these things for you. And so she doesn't see it as trafficking. She sees it as, oh, well, I owe him. He's done so much for me. And then because she thinks she chose to do it, now she's in it, right? And now he's holding it over her head and she feels stuck, and she still won't see herself as a trafficking. She still won't see it. If a officer or a cowboy, right? The cowboy, the knight in shining armor comes running in, the police, whoever it is, right? Some official comes in and says, hey, I'm here to rescue you. She's going to be like, rescue me from what? I'm a willing participant. I chose to do this. So that's really what you need to work on, is education and getting out the word that help women understand that they are actually in a trafficking situation. I did not see myself as a trafficking victim. I didn't even know what that word was, right? He was a producer, an executive producer for true crime shows. He was someone I trusted implicitly. I knew him since I was in high school. My whole family knew him. I did not see myself. If someone had come in and said, hey, I'm going to rescue you, Lisa, mine was image-based abuse that happened. That means that they're putting out videos of you without your consent, without your knowledge, onto the internet. Now, if you had come and told me, we're going to rescue you, we're going to put you in a safe house, I would have been like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? I'm a willing participant, according to him, because there's been a lot of grooming, manipulation, and coerced consent going on, which is not consent. And I wouldn't have seen it, right? It wasn't until I started researching. It was actually Rebecca Bender. I'm part of her program now at Elevate Academy. I just graduated from there. And she helps give women professional skills who have been trafficked. She helps survivors and who have been sexually exploited. She helps them professionally, and she has Elevate Academy. I love that academy. But anyway, it was interviews I saw with her that made me realize, and it was after I wrote my book Portal Tears. You can read my story in Portal Tears, but you won't see one mention of the word trafficking in that book, because I did not see it as trafficking. I didn't even know what that word meant, right? I didn't even know what exploitation meant. And so it's interesting, read my story, Portal Tears, to hear my version of what happened to me and how it happened. And I was a married woman when it happened, which I'm going to get to that on my next episode, talk about how married women are at high risk for exploitation and trafficking. So anyway, let's take that word rescue out of our vocabulary and instead let's get more awareness out. It's like we're doing this month is Anti-Trafficking Awareness Month, and you're going to see a lot of education and awareness, not just for other people, but my focus is on women who are in it right now and maybe don't see it, or it happened in their past and they didn't even realize, wow, like me, I had no idea I am a sex trafficking survivor. And remember, you are worth it.